I can't wait. I'm going to be at the end.
I felt peace for the first time in a while. From that point on, I was pretty hooked. Yeah, he's also so competitive. So he's like, I'm going to be chill about it. I know the day that we get there, he's going to be like, blinders on, I'm winning this thing.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Set the Pace, the official podcast of New York Roadrunners, presented by Peloton. I'm your host, Rob Simmelcare, the CEO of New York Roadrunners, and back with me this week. We missed her so much for our live episode at the Run Center last week. My co-host, Peloton instructor, Becs Gentry. Becs, hi. How are you doing?
Oh, she's on the mend. She is back up and almost running.
Oh, that is a relief to hear. We were worried about you last week. Couldn't leave your, I guess you had your foot elevated, right? You were kind of waiting for it to get better.
It was just sitting was weirdly very painful. That I think it was just like having a foot hanging down. After a few minutes, I just had to have it up. So if I was in environments where I could do that, I would. You should see me at the hair salon with my foot up, literally on like three people's. Like I just looked like I was probably at the gynecologist office more than the hair salon. But now we're through it. This is now 2 weeks since, and I'm about to head into my first walking and running class combined. So I'm very positive that we're through the bad stage.
All right. Well, listen, those rolled ankles can be rough. They can take a while to heal. I've been through a couple of those. So it's just time now, you know, they're going to get better. It's just, you just need time, you know?
And as an impatient Aries female, not something I'm very good at.
Yeah, I get it. I can relate. Well, we're glad you're on your way back, and I know your students will be psyched to see you back on the tread at Peloton. Becs, we had a packed weekend this past weekend. We're into it now. We're getting into the real season here at New York Roadrunners, absolutely. Yep. And we started it with a big day on Saturday, Member Week. We had 7,890 New York Roadrunners members and only members running the 2025 Greta's Great Gallop 10K on a beautiful Central Park morning, and it was a terrific day. Big day. We had a few winners. Jaoud Al-Jazuli was 30:46. That was his time from the Garden State Track Club to win it. The non-binary winner was Jacob Caswell, 36:14 from Frontrunners New York, and on the women's side, Felicia Poseidon, 32:57 from 212 Athletic Saucony, and it was a great day. Bex, I wasn't at the Greta's Great Gallop for a change because I was at another event we had going on simultaneously out in Brooklyn. We had our second ever New York Roadrunners Start Line series. And Bex, we talked about this. This is a 5K that's using the closed streets of the Great Summer Streets initiative that the city and the Department of Transportation have put on. This one was out in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. I went out there, made it kind of a speed workout for myself, you know, got a little speed work done on the streets out there in Crown Heights. And it was really cool to see. We had over 500 folks out there, a totally free event. And it was so awesome. There were so many first-time runners there. I spoke to so many inspiring people. There was a church group that I spoke to, Bex. The pastor of this church in Brooklyn is a runner, and he got a number of his members to come out, and these were like, you know, 70 and 80-year-old women, a lot of them. I met a woman named Fern who ran her first ever 5K at like 70 years old. And I also met a woman named Rocio who I watched cross the finish line, and she just started tearing up. She was crying, you know, she was so emotional, Bex, and she went over and gave her son this big hug, and it was such a beautiful moment. And I spoke to her afterwards, and it was the first time she'd ever run a 5K in her life. She was going through a tough time in her life, going through a divorce, and she said that she did this just to show, you know, her son that you could do a hard thing at a tough time. It was, I have to say, it was one of the most inspiring days I've had at New York Roadrunners. And on my Instagram, actually, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted an interview. It was on my story, so it's gone now, with Rocio. I'll go back and post it as a post because it was worth keeping. It was just a great day, Bex, and it reminds me so much of why we do what we do at New York Roadrunners is the impact that, 500 runners is not as big as the 8,000 we had in Central Park, but the impact we had, arguably just as big.
Yeah, absolutely. I love hearing those stories. It just does remind us all that doesn't matter how fast we move, it's the movement that counts. And it just warms my heart to hear people like Rocio out there proving it to herself, to use that 5K as a way to elevate her soul for her primarily, and also her son, of course, as a bit of a lesson for him. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh, what a weekend. What a weekend.
It was great. It was really great, Bex. And then I turned around Sunday and got in my long run
You did. I
all
was
by
gonna say,
myself.
give me the update. You had your
Yes.
18.
I did 17
Okay.
on a Sunday. I'm saving I saved one for you. But I'm going to go 19 this next one. So I'm working my way up.
Okay.
Why did I stop after 17? Oh, you know why? I was exhausted. I was completely beat.
Coach will change it. I'll change it in the spreadsheet right now.
Yes,
There we go. It
you
says
got to
17
take me
and
down
next
a mile
weekend
for
is
last weekend.
19.
But you know, first of all, I have to say, Bex, I feel it's going pretty well. You know, I
Yeah.
really feel fantastic. Yes, I was tired at the end of that long run, but
Yeah.
the speed work that you've been giving me, and I kind of like do your workouts. I also look at the runner workout sometimes and take a little from this, a little from that. But I think the speed work has really helped me. I feel good. And the biggest change from what I would have been doing on my own to training with you, Bex, is the way I'm pushing myself in these long runs. And, I've done, 2 weeks ago, a half marathon, all at my marathon pace. And then,
Yep.
The rest of it a little bit slower. This week, I didn't go quite the whole 17 at marathon pace, but I picked up, a number of tempo efforts throughout that. And this coming week, when I do 19, I'm actually going to work in another half marathon. So I signed up for a half marathon in New Haven, Connecticut on Labor Day. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to run that half I'm going to try to go marathon pace or a little bit better to really push myself to get comfortable at that pace for a long time. And I've run the pace before, Bex. I ran the time I'm going for last year in Berlin, but the training at this level of intensity, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to hopefully be able to truly race this marathon in Chicago and not just try to get to the finish line.
Oh, I love this. I love this. You're doing so well. I'm very, very proud of you. I'm very proud to be along for the journey.
Well, you've been so helpful. What's your take for folks listening out there, Bex, on racing during these blocks? I've seen a lot of the pros, they'll put in halves and compete in those. How do you think I should approach a half marathon? So I'm going to probably try to run, if I can, 6 before the half and then run the final 13. What do you think a good way to approach a race within your training block is?
I think it's not going to be your all-out race. It's not going to be your really let's caveat this with if you're training for longer distance than the race you're running.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be the PR of that race distance, but if you can get a strong effort in there, great. I think there's 2 things you have to be very aware of. One is how much mileage you do before and after. So for you, you're doing the 6 before and you'll take that at a very steady, easy to marathon pace, 6 miles. You'll take it a gradual progression run up to marathon pace. Perhaps you don't even have to, because if you're going to race the final 13, you are going to be probably standing still for a little bit at the start there. So you have to be very aware that you don't get yourself too warm in that first 6 before you try and push. So keeping as active as you can. And then when you start that race, not everyone else is on the same page as you. So there's going to be people going out slow. And the worst thing you're going to do is trip, stumble, and be around other people who are just coming out of the gates for the first time that day. So bear all of those things in mind. If you can get yourself towards the front, fantastic. Some races are very big and very strict on their corrals, rightly so, because people are in corrals for a reason to get their PR times in races. So do what you can to get to the front of the corral you're supposed to be in to alleviate the potential of other people holding you up, so you don't have to zigzag through crowds to get there. great thing to think about though is such a fantastic opportunity to practice fueling and almost over fueling, because if you are going to want to run fast on this half marathon, you're probably going to need a bit more fuel than you would need at your marathon pace by 19 miles. So getting that gut used to the gastric distress that it goes through running. Everyone goes through it. Some of us handle it better than others, i.e. some of us have to poop, others don't. Just for those people listening, that's just the long and short of it. But the more you can put your gut, your internal digestive system through gastric distress when training, the more used to it gets. And then on race day, it's like, cool, let me just take from this what I need to power you up, instead of take from it and go, this is awful, let me get it out. So great place to practice that, because it's a race scenario. There's going to be bathroom stops. There's going to be extra fuel and hydration should you need it. There's also going to be, worst case scenario, medical professionals right there. So really, really great chance to practice race day situation.
I love it. It's really something I've been focusing on, and I'm running the 6 before because I want to get that feeling of trying to run fast on tired legs. That's a huge part of what you've got to do, and I have not done well with that in my previous marathons. Running at that mile 22, 23, 24, recently has been a struggle for me. So anyway, great advice from you as always, Becs. And remember, folks, I'm running to support Team for Kids. Just kind of starting to focus on my fundraising. So we'll put the link to my page in the show notes, and would love your support as I take on the Bank of America Chicago Marathon on October 12th to support all of our amazing youth and community programs, including, by the way, that great Summer Streets race I talked about earlier, a free race. So you can donate to support that in the show notes. Find me on Instagram. It's all in my bio as well. All right, Becs, coming up on today's show, Broadway and Dancing with the Stars, Jordan Fisher and his partner, Ellie Fisher. We'll talk about Broadway, parenting, and, of course, running. They are both running races this fall of slightly different distances. Jordan taking on the Fifth Avenue Mile, Ellie taking on her first ever TCS New York City Marathon. That's coming up in just a moment. And for today's member moment, Neb Keflezighi caught up with golf pro Lizzy Blomgren to talk about how she balances endurance running and type 1 diabetes. And then Meb will be back for today's Meb Minute to talk about TCS New York City Marathon, miles 10 through 12. This episode of Set the Pace is brought to you by Volvo Cars, including the fully electric Volvo EX90 SUV, the official vehicle of the TCS New York City Marathon. The Volvo EX90 SUV is designed to be the safest Volvo ever made, with safe space technology, cutting-edge radars and cameras that help you detect potential risks inside and outside the car, even in the dark, helping to protect you and those around you. Because sometimes the moments that never happen matter the most. Visit volvocars.com/US to learn more about the fully electric EX90, proudly assembled in South Carolina. We are so thrilled to have a Broadway power couple that is now becoming a running power couple this fall here in New York. Jordan Fisher is a triple threat performer. You've seen him in Hamilton, Dear Evan Hansen, and Moulin Rouge, and he even won Dancing with the Stars. His wife, Ellie Fisher, graduated from the University of Alabama with a degree in clinical dietetics and has taken on the challenge of training for her first marathon this fall. Jordan's going to line up for the inaugural Broadway Mile at the New Balance Fifth Avenue Mile, while Ellie is preparing for the TCS New York City Marathon. They are both using these races to raise money for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, an organization they are deeply committed to. And we are so thrilled to have this incredible Broadway power couple. And the talent just doesn't stop with you guys. Now you're turning it into running. Welcome to Set the Pace.
Oh, man. Well, we really feel like superheroes just as parents. I think that's the biggest thing for us. We're just really thrilled that we get to live in a city that lets us do all of the things that we love to do, a city that allows us to all really thrive and be the best versions of ourselves. So, I think it's really full circle for us to be here, for Ellie to have made the decision, what seemed like an overnight decision, and I think that there's like a lot of stories that runners have like this, where it's just like, you know what? I just kind of started running, and I'm like, okay. Like it's just incredible to see. We were talking about it the other day. It's just like it's a Mount Everest. The idea of running the New York Marathon. That it's so many miles. I'm running a mile. A mile. I can't wait. I'm going to be at the end.
Yeah, he's also so competitive. So he's like, I'm going to be chill about it. I know the day that we get there, he's going to be like, blinders on. I'm winning this thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just, I'm not a marathon. I don't need the PR, but I am excited to get these little legs moving for a really good cause. And that's always that's really what it comes back to is Broadway Cares for us for so many years, for so many different reasons. And we've seen Broadway Cares truly change lives. They have saved people in my life. They have helped, navigate through treacherous waters and overcome things that seem impossible to overcome. Broadway Cares has stepped in and ensured livelihood for people that I love, like in my life. And I think that truly was the first time for me personally that I saw an organization, because we go to the benefits and the galas and the dinners and the things, and the raise your paddle if you want a trip to Cancun, and also blah, blah, blah. And it's like, we can do that and get the write-off and know that we're doing a thing that's good and it's making a difference. Yes. When you see it and you experience it firsthand, I think that for me personally, that shifted so much. And Broadway Cares ensures whatever it is that they are getting goes directly to the people that need it the most.
Yes.
That hour.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's that kind of expedience and that kind of consistency that just means so much to us as
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm guessing not just because it hits home so closely to you both. I'm guessing you've already said, Ellie, that Jordan's competitive. What do you think that your Broadway colleagues are thinking as you're all gearing up for this? Because we've heard that there's going to be a pretty big lineup of, Kelly O'Hara, Patina Miller, who we've had on the show. What is the feeling amongst you all?
And this is just so everybody knows, Jordan, this for our listeners who don't know, this is the first ever Broadway Mile. So this is something that our team at New York Roadrunners has put together. We're really excited about it. It's going to be a really fun part of the New Balance Fifth Avenue Mile. And we've got people, performers and producers, directors, executives, people from all over Broadway coming together to participate in this, to raise money for great causes. And it's really going to be great to see all these stars of Broadway uptown a little bit, running down Fifth Avenue. So what's the vibe like among the Broadway scene when it comes to this mile?
When was the last time you saw like two really good friends of yours run the fastest they can?
For me, it's very often.
You know what I mean? I more than anything, I love all of my colleagues so much. I'm like, I want to see what it looks like when you run fast. Like, I want to see
that pain.
That's honestly, I mean, that's one of the things I'm most excited about. Is just like, I love Kelly O'Hara so much.
Yeah. When we talked to Patrick, who's on our team from Moulin Rouge as well, he is super excited about it.
Excited. He's been training.
Yeah, he runs a mile every day on the treadmill. He's like, we're gonna show up.
That's right. That's right. It's gonna be great.
Oh my gosh! Wait, on top of all of your training and all of the dancing that you do as your day job, I mean, that is such cardio prowess just in itself. So to be doing the training for the mile on top of that, I mean, we might see some new pros here, Rob. I don't know.
I mean, possibly. Hey! I'm not working right now. I'm not on a show right now. So
No.
I'm not doing that 8-show schedule.
So
you
Jordan,
know what I'm saying?
There's going to be no excuses. We expect to see you blaze down Fifth Avenue.
I'm looking at it next week, and I'm like, yeah, I should probably hop on that treadmill.
Maybe just stretch a little.
Do a couple of squats and see.
Yes.
Hurt ourselves on a mile.
Well, this is actually funny because I don't think, Becs, we ever talked to a couple where you had, one person training for a mile and the other training for a marathon. Like that, those are extremely different regimes when it comes to training.
The support, though, is the same on both sides, Whether a mile or a marathon, we are there for each other.
That's right.
We're going to be cheering each other on.
Well, the marathoner needs a lot more support because the marathoner, Ellie, is spending a lot more hours out there pounding the pavement, whether it's on the treadmill or out on the streets. You finished your first half marathon in April, right? And where did the idea come from to run a marathon, the TCS New York City Marathon, to be exact?
Yeah. So it, like Jordan said, it did feel probably to most people very out of the blue. I myself am not an athlete, so I wouldn't consider myself in that category of somebody that would just take this on.
You are now.
That's very sweet, honey. I feel it now that I'm in the training for sure. But when I started, I really was doing it mostly for mental health purposes. So this was April of last year, 2024, and we had just found out that we had a miscarriage. And so that event in our life was very heavy, very all-consuming, and I was having a hard time getting not past it in the sense of forgetting or anything, but mourning and letting it be and continuing on. And I found through actually a work trip I was on with Jordan to Vancouver, which is beautiful. If you've never been to Vancouver, it's a runner's paradise.
I mean, the joy she would have on her face coming home from a run in Vancouver was just, it's hard to quantify. The nature and the familial aspect of it is really sweet.
Yeah. Just at that point, I felt like I just needed to get outside and clear my air. Let's go for a 10-minute jog. Okay, that felt good. Let's go for a 20-minute jog. Okay, that felt good. Let's go for a 4-mile run for the first time. That's where it started picking up for me, where I was like, I could be out here all day. I love this. I felt peace for the first time in a while, the quiet that happens when you're running, and just the sense of you, whether it's working on yourself mentally, physically, it's you for however long you're out there. And so from that point on, I was pretty hooked. I was like, this is mommy time. You guys go play, have fun. I'm going to get some time to myself and work on myself. And living in New York, being able to see the marathon happen from that perspective is, I don't know how anybody can watch the New York City Marathon and not feel inspired to go and do something. Whether it's run a marathon or not, you have got to feel that when you see those people, all of the spectators, how long they worked for it. And so I got to see that from somebody that just lived here. And a friend had invited me to apply for the marathon with him. He ended up dropping out because he and his wife got pregnant.
Uh-oh.
And so I was like, you know what, Will? I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it with a lot of joy and excitement and wishing you were running along with me. But what a goal to have. And I'm not putting pressure on myself in a lot of ways that I feel like I could be. I'm just going to enjoy it and have fun and try to soak up every moment. And then who knows, I might really be addicted and want to keep training and doing more marathons. And I'm hoping that's the case at least. So that's where the love came from. Short love affair so far, but not planning anytime soon.
You never know. And I feel you on the pregnancy loss. I also have gone through that in the past, and it's definitely so cathartic when you find something that allows you to sit with your feelings, but by yourself, but almost not by yourself, because you're in amongst this other community of runners who have their hands on your back wherever they are, you could go and talk to somebody about it. So I feel you on that. And it's so wonderful that you have continued it and your passion is flourishing, and your friend is going to miss out. Will, you're missing
He
out,
will.
buddy.
He
Will,
will.
he's like, oh my
He's
gosh.
been really supportive too, though. So
Yeah, I'm sure he's actually really envious as well.
he is.
But let's talk about, I mean, you're in the public eye. You're both in the public eye, and you're doing these very public, very well-known races. Both of them are huge. What's it like for you training whilst you're kind of in the public eye? Has it increased any anxiety or pressure?
For sure. I think definitely. I have made the choice to document a lot of my training as a way to stay accountable. I think was what I intended it to be. But then it turned into a community of people that are like, well, when's your next run? I like see them out and about. And they're like, we're keeping up with you online. When's your next run? And that's cool because I really didn't think anybody cared. I was really doing it for myself. So to know that there are people that are keeping up with it and supporting all over the place is really incredible and definitely inspiring.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful community. It truly is. I'm very biased, but also I fully believe it with my heart. And I know Rob does too, because he's grinning like a cat with the cream over there.
Well, it's funny, Ellie, you'll see like people love to follow other people's training. How's it going? I don't know if you're on Strava, but like people love to see how other people are doing on Strava and, relate to the struggles and all of that. So it's really, the community aspect of it is a huge part of it. And I am so excited for you to experience what it's going to be like on November 2nd. There was absolutely nothing like it. It's going to be incredible. Jordan, I'm just so curious for you, what has the journey been like, obviously in your performing career, to get to this point? You've done some incredible things, as a performer. Hamilton, Dear Evan Hansen, Dancing with the Stars. We've had a couple of Dancing with the Stars, here on this show. How does running kind of relate to that for you? Has running become a big part of your life, or is this more kind of a, hey, I want to have this experience on the Fifth Avenue Mile? Do you think maybe it's going to go somewhere from there?
No, a lover and a fan by proxy, obviously. When your partner decides to do something and it's a new world for you, I just have done everything I can to figure out how I can be as supportive as I can. Obviously not, it's a very solo thing. And as a former gymnast, like I can very much relate in that there's little that other people can do to actually better you as an athlete. There's a lot of coaching that can happen around it and support and advice that you can get from other people that are knowledgeable about it. I'm not knowledgeable for running, but I do know about like body therapy and physio and how to kind of like give her something that might be able to help with a muscle group that she's dealing with, like a deep stretch or an exercise or something along those lines like that. Those are ways that I can be helpful and supportive. But in terms of all of the other stuff, like just making sure like, hey, do you have your gels? Do you have your...
Yeah, he's being really humble. He is currently like what he's been calling it is producing the marathon day. Basically, he's like, I'm going to have everybody that's going to be there placed all over the race route, and we're going to have them checked in at a certain spot. We're all going to be on a group message. He's going to have meetup spots. I'm like, great.
It's like a full production day.
I wasn't even, my brain wasn't even going to attempt to go there. No. So
you've got 26.2.
You're a very big part of that for sure.
I think that just like to answer your question, Rob, the way that what I do relates to running is that the only way to get there is to do it, right? And it is the quiet times outside of what you see on stage or what you see on screen or what you hear on the radio. It's the quiet times that build that. It's the quiet times that make that successful. When no one else is around, when it's late at night, when it's the afternoon and I'm exhausted and should take a nap, but I've got this thing to like. It's all of that. Running, I think, is very, very synonymous in the determination that it takes, obviously, but it's the execution aspect of putting that real grit and that blood and sweat and tears when no one else is watching you do it.
Yeah.
That makes all of it not only like something for you to be able to hold that's tangible at the end of it, and you can be like, yeah, whether it's a medal or a drink that's toasted with friends at a wrap party for a project that you just like, what, no matter what, it's all the same. It's that, but what you get on the other side of it is the knowing that you can, that has been so sexy to watch and constantly inspiring. I think that, what shouldn't be unsaid is the training and all of the stuff that it takes, the mental willpower, et cetera, on top of being a mom of a 3-year-old.
Oh yeah.
That's the feat. Really.
Becs can relate.
I can relate. My little girl is about to turn 3 in a few weeks, so I feel you. It's
happy early.
Yeah.
Thank you. It is a absolutely gigantic task because you feel exhausted from that role running around after them, especially if you have any childcare during the week, but then the weekend it's just you 3 and you're just like, I've got to go and run a 20-mile training run and then I've got to be mom.
Yeah, I have to pretend to be a mom for the rest of the
because
day.
They don't care. They have no care at all. The minute you get in, you may be as white as the wall and drenched with sweat, but they're just like, mommy, come do this. You're like,
totally.
But as you say, that is the unseen element to it that other people don't see. But when you get to that finish line, you have that inside going, oh my gosh, I did that. I did that. And but I also want to know, Jordan, obviously you're the support crew here for Ellie's long distance marathon. But Ellie, has your background in nutrition and self-care on the food and diet front, has that helped the both of you when it comes to performance at work and now on this epic new 26.2 journey?
Yeah, I definitely would say so. I am really grateful that I chose to study dietetics and nutrition because it is something that I'm going to take with me for the rest of my life. I get to teach Riley how to eat properly and healthily and what makes him feel good. And I get to cook good food here at the house for the family. I think I took really quickly to counting macros when I started doing the training because I understood very quickly how important the fueling process for it is and getting used to gels and electrolytes and all of the different aspects of prepping yourself to be the strongest on that day. So I've definitely been practicing with all of those things, and he's been forced to eat lots of carb, protein heavy meals, which I haven't heard any complaints from or about yet. But yeah, I love that running is a sport that you have to eat for. Like there's no way around it. It's going to make you stronger and better. And yeah, it makes it enjoyable too. I get home from a long run and I'm like, I'm starving. What are we eating?
I love that. And like, yeah, as you say, knowing what to grab instead of just reaching for, I don't know, a pack of goldfish or something to tide you over but before you crawl upstairs to have a shower. Right. You know what nutrients you need to replace your body in order to put your hat on to be mom, to be wife, to be performer, or whatever it is. It's so lucky, so lucky, and what a great skill set to pass on to your family as well. So while we're talking about family, I'm intrigued by this. My mom is also one of my reasons why I run. I've never run a race with her. I have had her into a Peloton class though. But your mom and your brother are running the Hamptons half marathon coming up next month. Okay. How did you convince your mom to run a half marathon with you? Like
Hamptons. It was so easy.
Oh my God.
I didn't lead with the half marathon part. Let me just say that. I led
Weekend in the Hamptons, Mom.
If you knew Kristen Woods, anything like that, you're like, hey, it's the Hamptons. I'll be there.
She's also a body pump instructor, and she teaches cycle at their
Oh.
local gym.
She's a beast.
So I was not really worried about her not being able to, like, her age is not a factor whatsoever.
No,
her
God,
health
no.
is
aging backwards, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think for her, seeing me and my brother sign up for it was almost like a challenge. Like, oh, well,
I can do it.
Yeah. So she's been really training hard. She's had a couple of injuries here and there. So we're really hoping that like she can stick it out and make it through. I know she's going to feel so proud of herself when she does, but if not, the 5K, she was like, I'm for sure going to do the 5K. So she's running with us that day.
Oh my goodness. That is so much fun. And I'm guessing they'll be there to cheer you on November 2nd as well.
Oh, yeah. Yes, they will. And my brother is going to be running the Charlotte Marathon a week after the New York City Marathon. I wish I could get down there to support him, but I will be cheering him on over the phone and hopefully getting some good videos from the race. Mm-hmm. It's his first marathon ever too. So we both got bit by the bug very quickly and decided to take on some fun challenges.
You did. I'm very proud of you already. I'm in awe. Okay, so we've touched on it lightly earlier on, but obviously it's something that you both are very, very passionate and very, very caring about, and that is the why behind these races and your running. And Jordan, you said it saved people around you. It's really shone a light onto the struggles and the sadness that happens on Broadway and to people very close to you. So what have you been doing individually to rally awareness and get donations and to promote this incredible cause?
Well, I'll just say, the scope of Broadway Cares goes so far beyond Broadway and the Broadway community. Broadway Cares is a resource for all artists everywhere. Broadway Cares has a center in all 50 states.
Including Puerto Rico and
DC. That's correct. Okay. The Broadway Cares works with the Phyllis Newman Women's Health Initiative as well to provide financial aid and support to women all over the country of all ages, shapes, sizes, genders, creeds, orientations, no matter what, to provide support for a myriad of health issues.
Mostly it's medical research for the Phyllis Newman Women's Initiative, which is huge.
So this is they're helping ensure that women can get whatever medication that they can get. I mean, like this is also the Actors Fund. This helps actors stay in their homes. They keep homes from foreclosure. They make sure that people have food in their refrigerators. This is everywhere, all over the U.S. and that's just something that I'm so proud to emphasize when talking about Broadway Cares, right? Because this is something that I think we can put Broadway in New York so quickly and so easily, but I think that it really is just about like the greater artist community and LGBTQ plus community as well, ensuring visibility and support. And yeah, I mean, in terms of rallying, golly, we do collections on Broadway after shows twice a year, and we do a lot of fun stuff around that, and different events and stuff as well. Like there's the Broadway Flea Market that's going to be happening here pretty soon, and we have a burlesque variety show that we do every year. We've got almost like it's like a concert with all different Broadway stars that sing songs from shows that they would otherwise never be in or roles that they would never play. It's called Broadway Backwards. I mean, in all of these events, we have been fortunate enough to rally and raise incredible money, but we know that where we are now today in 2025, especially in the United States of America, things are just volatile and shaky and constantly vibrating and fluid. And there's a lot of unknown right now. And one thing that can be known, one thing that is consistent is that regardless of the storm, Broadway Cares is there. They are the shelter in the storm and a beacon, and that will be timeless and priceless to us as a family, as a unit. And I just couldn't be more proud of Ellie, not only for running the New York City Marathon, but specifically and intentionally making it about Broadway Cares, specifically women's health. And to watch that has just been.
Yeah, I've known for a while that I've wanted to have my hands in this community somehow. I just didn't know what that was going to look like. So when it unfolded to being a part of the marathon team,
very organically, just kind of like happened.
I took to the fundraising part of it quickly, just knowing how much Broadway Cares does for people across our country, for other organizations across our country. They support so many other nonprofits, providing food, providing medical care. And so what we do on a day-to-day basis as far as rallying and raising money is we just speak to people that may or may not know about Broadway Cares and remind them all of the good they do and how just $10 a day, $10 can get somebody an HIV test. $25 can provide, I think, a week of food. Like it's really what they do is it's clear that it's important to our society right now to do what we can and be a part of these kinds of organizations to help other people that really don't know what's next. Like we all say that we don't know what's next in this country, but there are people that are really frightened, and I can only do what I can, and that's help and be a voice and try to run 26.2 miles for a good cause and bring some awareness.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So beautiful.
Well, Ellie and Jordan, you guys are training for very different distances, but you are doing it as a clear team. It is really fun to see. It's fun to listen and watch the two of you. You're adorable, by the way. You guys are an absolutely adorable couple. Yeah, and we're just so excited for both of you. Ellie, do you have a goal? Do you have any sort of time goal for the marathon, or is your goal just to finish?
My goal is to finish. My goal is to be out there and be one of those women that can say that they completed the New York City Marathon and feel that and not let anybody else try to, change the way I feel about it. I don't care what time it is, as long as I pass that finish line.
That's right.
I love it. And I love the fact that Jordan is producing the day for you. And it's going to be a pretty good guy to produce your day, by the way. I would take a day produced by Jordan anytime.
We've got it down. It's going to be a beautiful day.
I can't wait. Can't wait to see you, Ellie, at the finish line, because that's where I will see you. And I wish you luck. And Jordan, I can't wait to see you on Fifth Avenue in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, man. We'll see you soon.
All
see
right.
both there.
Amazing time. Ellie and Jordan Fisher. Peloton is the race training partner you've been missing. From beginner-friendly walks to advanced interval runs, Peloton's classes are designed to meet you where you are and help you get where you want to go. Whether you're preparing for a marathon or just trying to improve your pace, you'll train smarter, build strength, and stay motivated, all with expert-led instructor guidance. Ready to level up your race training? Head to onepeloton.com/race-training to learn more. Peloton, an official partner of the 2025 TCS New York City Marathon. Lizzy Blomgren is a professional golfer who has spent years teaching and competing in the sport she loves. Diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 10, she's long balanced her athletic career with the daily demands of managing that condition. Endurance running was never part of her plan until diabetes training camp shifted her mindset, showing her that she could adapt, push harder, and that she'd found a community that understood every challenge she faced. Emboldened, Lizzy joined a local run club, and soon she found herself taking on the United Airlines NYC Half Marathon this past March. And then on race day, a pivotal moment at mile 6 would test everything she'd learned about perseverance.
Lizzy, welcome to Set the Pace podcast. How's it going today?
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. It's going great.
We are delighted you are here. You are a PGA golf professional and you competed in college. And when did the idea of running a half marathon first click for you, and why was that so meaningful?
Yeah, so I've always kind of had this idea like I want to run a half marathon, want to run a half marathon, but with type 1 diabetes, any endurance activities can be extremely challenging because there's a lot of factors that I'm dealing with that maybe a typical runner is not. So it kind of would come and go from my mind. I would tell people this in college. And then finally, I went to an awesome program and I was like, you know what? I can do this. And I signed up to run with a charity called Breakthrough, which does a lot for the type 1 diabetes community. And that's how I kind of got started.
Awesome. Well, can you take us when you're running back to the mile six of the your NYC half when your sensor failed and you experienced a severe glucose drop? How did you stay calm and keep running?
Yeah, so as a type 1 diabetic, I wear an insulin pump and I also wear something that reads my blood sugar monitor. So in the middle of the race, I had my Dexcom on, which reads my monitor, and that's how my insulin pump, they all connect together. And it stopped reading my glucose levels. And I was actually getting false readings before that. So I wasn't fueling properly for where my blood sugar actually was. And then it fails. And then I'm in a medical tent and my blood sugar is 40, which is very, very low. It's a very severe low for a type 1 diabetic. So kind of being able to wait, allow my blood sugar to raise, and then keep going is incredibly difficult because all the glycogen from your muscles is just gone. It's funny because that was the reason that I had never wanted to pursue long distance running in the first place, right? And I went to this incredible program last summer called Diabetes Training Camp, where I worked with a lot of individuals with type 1 and trainers who had a lot of experience with the disease. And they helped me kind of start learning how to fuel and prevent this, right? And then it happens in the middle of the race, despite everything I had learned. Like my biggest fear happened. And I realized, you know what? I'm going to trust my fueling. I just ate something. I know I'll be okay. I know I'll get through the finish line. Maybe it's not the time I wanted, but it's okay. It's my first half marathon. So I was able to kind of talk myself through it and be like, I got this. And now I know I can kind of do anything because, again, I accomplished my biggest fear happening during the race.
Well, you accomplished big, 13.1 miles, and that's a personal
Yeah,
best for you. So even though you had some struggle, you did a great job.
thank you.
How's running with local club differ from solo training? What does that
Oh,
what
gosh.
what does that
it's the
community offer you now?
it's the best, truly. I run with Dubset Running Collective, which is in White Plains, New York. So it's a New York Roadrunner running group, and it's incredible. The community I've experienced, I've met so many friends. I've actually met a couple other type ones through the group, but just a great group of people who are so encouraging and so many different speeds. And I've gained so much knowledge from these group of people because again, they're always willing to help me kind of learn how to train because I am a new runner still. And they've provided me a lot of support and running with a community versus running alone. It just makes all the difference.
Awesome. We're delighted to have you. How does one sport like golf teach you about running or vice versa?
Yeah, I mean, golf and running, any sport you're doing is just a lot of kind of perseverance and, training to improve, right? It's very similar, the mindset. Anytime you're doing a high level sport, there's ups and downs. You have good runs, you have bad runs. I have great days on the golf course. I certainly have bad days on the golf course. But remembering to trust your training and that it eventually will pay off.
How does that now sometimes missing the golf ball into the hole and versus the last mile was that's not what I want to hit. How do you compare those or how are they similar or how are they different?
Yeah, I think it's all similar, right? Obviously two very different sports, but it's the idea of learning kind of how to stay cool even when things aren't going your way, right? And golf has taught me so well to do that because again, you're not moving quickly necessarily in golf, but you have it's such a mental challenge between a bad shot and going up and hitting your next one, right? And the same thing with running when you're in those last few miles. It's like, okay, trust the training. This hurts, but I'm going to get through this. I worked for this. I'm ready.
Pretty awesome. What's one thing you would tell another athlete with type 1 diabetes who thinks endurance races are off limits to them?
They're not off limits. You just have to prepare differently, right? Again, it's the same thing. It's all about learning how to prepare and how to be ready and understanding what could happen with your blood sugar and being ready for different outcomes.
Yeah, key is preparation and hope for the best and do the right thing on race day.
Definitely.
Since the race, what's new goal you set for yourself, and how does your mindset around diabetes shape it?
Yeah, so I'm actually running the New York City Marathon in November. I know I ran another half marathon after the New York City half just to see if I could get my blood sugar perfect, and I did. So that was such a big accomplishment for me, and I was like, you know what? I'm not done yet. So I'm fundraising again for Breakthrough, and I'm running in November. I'm so excited on week 7 of my training. Yeah. Thank you so much. I can't wait. New York City is my favorite city in the world, and what a place to be able to do my first marathon. I do. I know. It's hard not to, especially when you start running with friends in a community, right? It's such a beautiful group of people. It's like that second half marathon I did, I had someone pull a rock out of my shoe for me, like stopped his race to help me. And I'm like, that's just the entire running community that I've been a part of. It's pretty special. Yeah, it is.
Thank you, Lizzy, so much for joining us and for being a member of New York Roadrunners. Now it's time for today's Med Minute.
Thanks, Rob. Welcome back to my mile by mile countdown to the 2025 TCS New York City Marathon. This week we are counting down mile 10 to 12 Williamsburg. Mile 10 to 12. Now going to the double digits. This is energy stretched through the Bedford Avenue, tight course, vibrant people. Fill into the course. You might be able to be in front. For me personally, I could engage if the person comes in front of me or behind me. I know if I'm in the lead that if there's a person crossing right behind me, I know I have enough space away from my competitors. This is a time where you kind of observe the community also. This is Sunday. Some people do go to church, so you might see people coming in from church or going to church. This is a time to kind of know the community a little bit. Williamsburg and Greenpoint cheer zone. Stay control, feel right, and consistently, you'll be fine.
That does it for another episode of Set the Pace. We want to thank our guests, Jordan and Ellie Fisher and Lizzy Blomgren. If you like the episode, please make sure you subscribe. Please leave us a rating. Leave us a comment. We love to hear from you. That helps other people find the show as well. Good luck for everybody running this weekend, Labor Day weekend. Enjoy the long weekend. Hopefully you've got some time off. Enjoy those miles. We'll see you next week.